guys, welcome to the Final Whistle podcast. I feel like the Reds, I feel like I've been on my holidays as well. Like, I just feel like I'm just slow training myself to the final day of the season. But this is the penultimate week, game week 37. And as always, I have the awesome Ben Pescott joining me. Hi, Ben, welcome back.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I feel like I'm on holiday. I feel like everyone's just waiting for that Crystal Palace game now. And I mean, I keep on forgetting that Liverpool are even playing tomorrow. In all honesty, I mean, I'm so out of it. I woke up this morning and started looking to prepare pre-match stuff for the match today, thinking it was today, and then I realised it's tomorrow. So I think everyone's kind of a bit all over the place at the minute.
Yeah, well, spoiler alert for you, Ben. You're on the graveyard shift tomorrow, so
I know.
you better get psyched up for it. Yeah, Liverpool will be playing Monday Night Football, the last one, which will be a good thing actually. Break it off. But I guess we'll just talk about everybody else. And Ben, I want to get your thoughts because I feel like the two teams that are playing in Europa both played on Friday. Chelsea beating Manchester United 1-0. Aston Villa beating Tottenham 2-0. Both of those teams who were victorious have Champions League aspirations. The other two, if it wasn't for three worst teams, then there would have been in serious bother. But they are going to play a Europa League final, which potentially gets them a Champions League spot. One of the winners, one of those will play Champions League football. So just take all that in and just digest it and throw something back at me.
I don't know where to begin with them. I mean, the two games on Friday, you see the difference in quality. I mean, Villa seemed to just breeze to a win over Spurs from what I saw, and the Chelsea Man United game wasn't great, but Chelsea done what they had to do. But yeah, it's going to be. I'm kind of looking forward to the final because it's two poor teams, so hopefully that'll make a good game. But yeah, the fact that one of them two teams are going to be in the Champions League just kind of baffles me a little bit. But yeah, 6 teams in the Champions League from England next year, which is a bit mental considering everyone's been saying how poor the league's been this season.
Yeah, I love the way you have to get that little slide every week. And quite frankly, Ben, I am here for it, because I think people need to hear it. You shout it from the top of your lungs. Yeah, I agree with you. I did kind of watch the United game. I had people over. I completely forgot Man United were playing. I invited people over for dinner. So it was just kind of like background. But yeah, I think with Man United in this season, I think with Spurs as well, they've just kind of given up. It's almost like let's just throw everything into the Europa League final, and potentially that kind of salvages our season. I think we spoke about it last season, who's had the worse and more disappointing season, and I think we came to the conclusion that it was actually Manchester United with the amount that they spent, and I guess. Ange Postecoglou can kind of say I had injuries, and he did. I think we can all say that. So, yeah, I think there's probably. Would you say there's more pressure on Manchester United, or would you say there's more pressure on Ange, considering he keeps saying, "I told you, give me 2 seasons." Again, he said it again.
Yeah, I think from a club point of view, I think there's more pressure on United, but for the two managers, I think it's do or die for Postecoglou, to be honest. And like you say, the way he's bigged up this final is I'll always win something in my second year. If he doesn't, it's going to really come back and kind of bite him on the backside. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, but it's so important for both of them because whoever doesn't win, it's going to be heartbreaking for them, and the season is a complete disaster then.
It absolutely is. And in that regard, then, for me, that feels like that's going to be a really good final because it is do or die for both teams. And hopefully United are probably hoping they do a little bit better. Did they play Sevilla in the Europa League a few years ago, and Bruno Fernandes won the toss and he decided to take the second penalty and the opposite end? And the ref was like, "Are you sure?" I'm sure. That was.
It was definitely a Spanish side. Definitely a Spanish side.
Yeah. I agree. So I think props to maybe Aston Villa, given the fact that out the Champions League and they've snuck back into, the contention again. So credit to them. With regards to the Champions League spots, because obviously Newcastle did not win today. They lost to Arsenal, which I think secures Arsenal at second. So with regards to Champions League spots, bearing in mind Man City have not played, they've got a game in hand. I think they play Bournemouth in a few days' time. Who's going to miss out?
I don't really know where to begin with it. I've said for so long that Chelsea will miss out, but I just don't know because they've got Forest last game of the season, so that could go either way. I'm really not sure. I think Newcastle will get in. I think City will get in because I think they pretty much only need to win one of the last two, and I think they'll do that.
Well, there you go. There you have it. The relegation speaks for itself. What did you make of Leicester beating Ipswich 2-0 and Vardy getting his 200th goal?
Yeah, it was bound to happen, wasn't it? The second I saw that they scored, I mean, they don't have many goal scorers, but I knew straight away that it was going to be Vardy, and I am glad for him. I mean, I tweeted when he announced that he was leaving. I feel like the word legend gets thrown around a lot, but he's a true legend by every kind of metric that you want to decide of someone, whether it's a story, the accomplishments, or the character that he is. I'm hoping he stays in the Premier League because the league's better with players like him in.
No, I'd agree with you on that one. And with regards to Ruud van Nistelrooy, do you think he's pretty much done now at Leicester? Because I think you and I spoke about this before on the show, that, it probably was a bit premature to kind of get rid of Cooper and bring him in. Because I think, I think it was you that actually said that defensively they would have been at least a little bit more shored up and, they would have maybe been able to see out games a little bit better. But I think Ruud van Nistelrooy is pretty much done at Leicester. I think they might have to look for another option now.
Yeah, I think they will. Yeah, but I feel like in the Championship there's not an awful lot of managers available at the minute. But we'll see what route they go down. I mean, it could always get Steve Cooper back, I guess. I've never seen this before. A super sticker, Mohammed John Soliev. I've never seen that before at all.
Neither have I. That's why I put it up. I thought you might be able to help me, but we like a super sticker. So shout out to you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, appreciate. And a hi to Carmina Pillar there. Thank you so much for joining us. We're just kind of slugging our way through because I think next week is going to be epic. But before we go there, I mean, like, it's not game week 37 related, but there was no football on yesterday because it was the FA Cup final. How phenomenal was that for Crystal Palace?
It was amazing, and I kind of knew that was coming as well. I mean, Man City had all the ball, didn't they? And just didn't really do anything with it. I think that's kind of been the story of Man City's season at times. And Palace have that kind of quick counter where they can really hurt you and they punish them. I think I looked at the time that Palace scored the opening goal. I think it was about 20 minutes. And Man City had 88% possession before the goal. And then Eze just puts them ahead. Great goal as well. I was over the moon for them. I don't know if you haven't seen it yet, I don't know if you saw the Tifo at the start of the game that Crystal Palace put up.
No, I didn't see that.
There's a long story behind it, but if you haven't seen it, just search Crystal Palace Tifo, and the story behind it's amazing, and it kind of summarises just how much it kind of means to all the fans. And yeah, I was over the moon for them.
I mean, I know like losing the Carabao Cup final was obviously like a pain in the backside, but if you just think about Newcastle winning a trophy, Crystal Palace as well, and Liverpool winning, the league, I feel like there's been a lot of newness this season again, and I think it's really refreshing, and I think it definitely needed that spurt. So, I definitely agree with that. It's been really nice, and both of those clubs have been like pining for a trophy for so long as well, and props to them.
Yeah, if you're going to lose a final, not that you ever want to lose a final, but if you're ever going to lose a final, you want it to be against teams like that. There's people who've waited 70 years for that trophy, and yeah, it's brilliant to see. It really is.
It is. What do you make of Pep Guardiola not winning a trophy for Man City this season? I mean, like, I think it does go down as his worst season ever on his CV. I mean, like, it's one that he probably wants to erase. I think he grows from this personally. I think, he's so used to winning. This is going to be a test of what he's all about, what the team's all about, and also how does he bounce back from this? Because I don't think it can get worse for him. I think this was his rough season, shall we say.
Yeah, this is their kind of 2021 season under Klopp, wasn't it? And Klopp bounced back after that. I mean, the season after that, we almost won all 4 trophies. So Pep will bounce back. He's too good of a manager to not bounce back, and that Man City team's got too much quality to not bounce back. I don't think they'll win the league next season. I think it's going to be between us and Arsenal again. But I don't think. I think they won't be as far off it, and they certainly won't go on that run that they went on before Christmas again. I think you've seen it even since Christmas. I think they've only lost one game or something since about January. So they are slowly starting to build up. And then obviously yesterday was just one of those days where maybe kind of everything just went Palace's way. I mean, Dean Henderson doesn't get sent off. I think that's a blatant red card, to be honest. But also, I actually thought he got the ball for the penalty as well, Mitchell. So I guess it's kind of swings and roundabouts. But Crystal Palace thoroughly deserved it.
They did, and I do find it really bizarre that Mamouche took the penalty and not Haaland. Again, very strange. It doesn't really help Man City's cause. But let's move on. Let's move back to the Premier League. Obviously, Liverpool aren't playing. Arsenal beat Newcastle. I think they'll be pretty calm. Brentford and Fulham seemed like a fun game, and it's quite a shame actually that both of them will miss out on European football this season, because that could have been a really tasty one, But it was a good game by all accounts.
Yeah, they've both been kind of entertaining all season. They're not Brentford yet, but to me, like, Fulham doesn't really strike me as a team that's going to be really entertaining, but they have been this season. And they've kind of made a trend of these like 5-minute flourishes where they put 2 or 3 goals past you. I mean, they've done it against us. And they've done that again today. I'm pretty sure the second and third goals were within about 5 minutes of each other. So, I mean, Marco Silva's doing a brilliant job there as well. I feel like the likes of Areola have all got credit this season. Thomas Frank as well for Brentford. But I think Marco Silva always kind of just goes under the radar a little bit. And if Tottenham do decide to sack Postecoglou, I wonder whether he's maybe up there as a potential candidate for that job. That kind of, I don't know why that kind of just makes sense to me.
Yeah, you are right. It was within a few minutes. Kearney scored on the 68th and Wilson on the 70th minute. So 2 minutes, 2 goals out of sight. I could see Silva going there. And I guess that's probably the kind of manager that they could attract as well, because I think I do see Spurs as a bit of a poison chalice. And I think a lot of managers who have maybe a slightly better pedigree in Europe certainly would. We heard about Arne Slot not wanting to take the job, before, because he must have known that Levy is an absolute, nut job. Let's just be nice about it.
Yeah.
You can't work under him. So, I think Silva would be a good shout, but I feel like it can kind of derail you as well, because if it goes horribly wrong, you go back into obscure again.
Yeah. I don't know, because they're kind of on the verge of that anyway, aren't they? So, but like we've seen managers, I mean, Mourinho didn't work, Conte didn't work. I mean, they're 2 brilliant managers, and if that doesn't work, then I don't know. I think Areola's the one that really got to push for Bournemouth. But again, is he gonna leave what he's got going on at Bournemouth to go to Tottenham, who's in a bit of a disarray at the minute? I'm not too sure.
Again, he'll have a very interesting season next season as well, with obviously Huijsen going, and how do they kind of recuperate from next season as well. Hi there, Mahbub Mohammed Ahmed, thank you for joining us live. But I would agree with you on that one. And let's talk about quickly Everton beating Southampton. Great way to end the season. I think they've ended on a positive, aren't they? It started off really bad for them. I think they can kind of be a bit puffy-chested about how the season's ended for them, with Moyes coming back, new owners as well. We'll see what they're all about, and of course a new potential stadium as well. We are going to have to say goodbye to Goodison. Let me just, you talk. I want to check Southampton's XG, because that's what I do.
Yeah. Just on Goodison, I mean, obviously we're on a Liverpool channel here, and but it's been a great stadium over the years. And I saw a really nice post from the club earlier. It was like a banner from the Liverpool fans saying, "A message from the cop: we never walked alone," because of the Everton fans throughout the Hillsborough stuff. So it is a shame to see them moving. I don't know if you've seen the name of the new stadium. The Hill Dickinson Stadium, they've decided to call it, which I was finding a bit random. And you can imagine the jokes coming from that. But I don't know if you saw as well. Do you see the red flares amongst the Everton fans?
I did.
The Liverpool fans kind of Uno reverse them and put the red flares amongst them. So yeah, it's all good fun.
Oh, nothing beats Ronald Koeman's Christmas tree decorations, right? The fume over the fact that he used red.
Yeah.
Yeah. They probably don't eat ketchup over there, you know. Yeah, like they have a strong allergic reaction. But let's get back to this. So, Everton 50% ball possession to obviously Southampton's the same. XG, uh, Everton had 2.73. Guess Southampton's.
0.71.
Or how low you think of them. It was 1.21.
Wow.
I was shocked at that.
Yeah.
I was like, you're never going to get it. You're
Yeah.
never going to get it. How many shots do you think they had?
Based on that, I'd go maybe 9-10 shots.
6.
Oh, so they must have had a pretty good chance in there then.
Yeah, yes. How many on target do you reckon?
2.
Spot on.
Eventually.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? It's such a shame that the season's come to the end and I've quizzed you on this. This should have been something I started.
Yeah. We've got one more week next week. They've got Arsenal next week, so God knows what the stat will be.
Oh God, it's going to be horrendous, isn't it? Although I don't think Arsenal have much to play for now as well. I think they're pretty much secure. With regards to Liverpool, they are playing Brighton tomorrow. Obviously, we're all on our holidays. We're just waiting for the last game of the season. I don't know about you, Ben, but I'm going to be scouting João Pedro.
Yeah, there's been a few kind of murmurs over the week, hasn't it? I was under the impression that kind of he'd been ruled out. That's what a few of the reports had said, but apparently not. So I'll be keeping a close eye on him. They've got a few really good players, Baleba as well.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting match. I could not tell you what the score is going to be. This has like 3-3 wrote all over it, in my opinion.
It was a pretty tough encounter at Anfield, actually. Remember, them just having an absolute game against us.
Yeah,
And,
first half they were brilliant.
Yeah, and Mo Salah having to just kind of get us on even keel before we start running away with it. I do like one of their players, though, and I know we won't be linked to him because I think they've literally just bought him, but I quite like that Yassine Ayari as well. I think he's been a good addition to the squad. So, yeah, Brighton looking really good. Obviously, their manager is an absolute toddler, given he's just so unbelievably young. But fair play to him. Started off well, then they kind of fizzled a bit. I think that's fair, and they've come back strong again, and a learning curve for him as well. But yeah, we're almost coming to the end, Ben. Let me just ask you the last quick one on everything. What do you make of the potential? It looks like it's going to be done. Frimpong.
It's just one of those where I wasn't so sure on it at first, and then I think everyone kind of talks themselves into it. Now all of a sudden I'm really excited by it. I'm just intrigued. I'm really curious because I do think Bradley's going to be the starting right back, and obviously he's not going to come in to replace Salah. So I wonder whether he is just going to be kind of this utility player, maybe the Chiesa replacement, but obviously plays a lot more than Chiesa. Obviously Salah's going to AFCON in January, so having someone on that right side with that pace will be really useful. And he seems like a really likable person as well. I mean, he seems to get on really well with Gravenberch and Gakpo, so yeah, I'm excited for it, and for the price that we've got him, it's a bit of a no-brainer.
It is an absolute no-brainer. I quite like the fact that a little bit of business has been done quite early as well. Hopefully there is more to be done. Obviously, you cover articles and work on Anfield Index, and again, there's been a lot of talk about maybe striker reshuffling as well. I know like Darwin Núñez looks very much set to be gone, and maybe that's why we are looking at strikers now, and that player that I've just mentioned, I think Verts is another one that's being linked to Liverpool as well. So I think it's going to be a really, really busy. Well, I hope it's a really busy summer window for Liverpool because we had absolutely zero activity last summer.
Yeah, I would expect things to move quickly as well this summer. I obviously the Euros was last summer, so we didn't really have a full pre-season with all of his players last year. I think we'll be keen to kind of get as many done as soon as possible. So I would expect kind of after this Frimpong thing. I mean, I've already seen Romano tweeting today that we're already in talks for a left back. So I think that's the next one on the list, and it wouldn't surprise me if that's done in the next couple of weeks as well.
Nice. I like this business done early. You kind of touched on the Euros there, and obviously this is that lull season where we don't have any international football. What do you do to keep yourself sane?
Yeah, I know. Well, you've got the Club World Cup, but I can't
Are
see
you
myself.
watching? Are you watching it?
Probably not. Maybe the odd game, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm made of. Obviously, they've revamped it, but I'm not really. Yeah, it just seems like a like a pre-season friendly tournament to me. But
Yeah,
I don't
just
know.
throwing the teams together and like trying to make some kind
Yeah,
of and add some glitz and glamour to it when no one's really asked about it because it's not really a competitive game. And also, you're just throwing a lot of money at these teams, and that's the motivation right there. Yeah, I'd agree with you, Ben. I think we pretty much discussed everything at length there. What's been going on in the week? It's been like a little catch up for you and I. Next week is going to be a big one. I think we're going to savor every single moment.
yeah,
It's just towards the end, you're just going to watch it all, take it all in, watch the lift, watch all the interviews. It's going to be mad. It's going to be busy, and I think we've waited a very long time for it. To see it in person, should I say?
yeah,
Because we have won the league, in 2020, but we were robbed of those, happy occasions.
yeah. I can't wait for it. I really can't wait. Yeah, and then hopefully just do it again next season. Sort of second season. Set himself a high bar, but we're all behind him, and I'm sure he'll do really well again.
Indeed, Ben. I think we call it a day now, because we are on our holidays. Before I let you go, where can people find you on social media? And is there anything you would like to plug?
Yeah, so just Ben Pescott Journal on Twitter. You'll find all my work, whether it's Anfield Index, EPL Index, or anything like that. We've done an Academy podcast on Friday. That's live on the YouTube channel now. So you can check that out. A few stuff on. Well, we spoke about Conor Bradley's contract, which has obviously been announced now.
Yeah.
And the likes of Bajcetic and Dan's, all that sort of stuff you can find on there.
Wonderful. Do check out the Academy podcast, guys. It's so in depth, the analysis on the young players and everything. It's good to keep on track as well, because sometimes you kind of have to look at the younglings. You can't always get a transfer over the line, and some good ones have been coming through the academy. For my part, obviously I'm just doing this. I think we will be having a lot of podcasts after the season about the season in general. So keep your eyes and ears open for that. Also, there's been just so much content on Anfield Index, and do check it out. If video is your thing, go over to YouTube. They've been working like beast mode there, and loads of podcasts and loads of articles from Ben and all our other writers as well. So, guys, plenty to keep you busy and entertained. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Take care, and we will catch you soon.